You are talking about something happening now, a decision you made, a problem at work, a disagreement in the family. Then someone reaches backward and says, "This is exactly like what you did 3 years ago." The room changes. Your chest tightens. Your mind starts searching for proof that you are different now. You want to explain the old story. You want to show how much you have changed. But the moment you defend your whole past, the current conversation disappears. So do not start there. Look at them calmly and ask, what does that have to do with what we're discussing right now? That is the first move. You are not denying the past. You are testing its relevance. Because an old mistake can be useful information. But it does not automatically become evidence against every decision you make today. A real pattern can be named. Someone can point to what you are doing now, explain the connection, and give you something specific to answer. A weaponized memory stays vague. It enters the room like a verdict. Then it waits for you to put yourself on trial. Do not accept that role. Ask for the connection. Imagine a family conversation. You say you are changing jobs. Someone replies, "Here we go again. Remember when you quit that other job and everything fell apart?" Your first instinct may be to explain every detail. That job was different. You have more savings now, but every new detail creates another place for them to argue. Instead, ask, "What does that have to do with the decision I'm making now?" They may say, "I'm just reminding you what happened." Answer, "I remember what happened. I'm asking how it relates to this." You did not erase the old event. You did not apologize for it again. You asked them to connect it to the present. If they can name a current concern, listen to it. Maybe they say, "You left without a plan last time, and I'm worried you were doing that again." Now there is something real to discuss. You can answer the current concern. "I have 3 months of expenses saved, and I already have another offer." That is a conversation. But if they cannot name anything happening now, the past is not being used for clarity. It is being used for control. When the memory stops working, the attack often changes. They say, "So you admit you did it?" That question tries to pull you into a second trial. If you deny it, they call you dishonest. If you admit it, they treat the admission like proof that nothing has changed. Say, "I'm not denying it. I'm asking why you're using it here." Do not attach a speech about growth. Do not list your achievements. Do not ask them to recognize the new you. Bring the pressure back to the purpose of the comment. Here is a useful test. Which line would be easier to remember when someone brings up your past? A. How does that relate to this? Or B. Name the behavior you're seeing now. Put A or B in the comments. Treat it like rehearsal. Because the next move is usually more personal. They stop talking about the old event, then they say, "You haven't changed." That sentence hurts because it attacks your identity. It tells you that one old version of you is the only version they are willing to see. Your instinct will be to prove who you are now. Resist it. You do not need to present your entire life as evidence. Ask. Then name the behavior you're seeing now. It moves the conversation away from labels. It asks for something current, something visible, something you can actually answer. If they say, "You're being impulsive," ask, "What am I doing right now that looks impulsive to you?" Now they must point to behavior. If they say, "You always make bad decisions," say, "Name the decision you're concerned about now." Do not defend the person you have become. Make them identify what you are doing in the present. At work, the wording should become even more factual. Imagine a meeting. You recommend a new approach. A coworker says, "We all remember what happened on the last project." Do not rush into, "That wasn't my fault." Ask, "Is there a current concern with my work, or are we discussing the previous project?" Here is how the full exchange can sound. "You always do this. Remember what happened last time? What does that have to do with what we're discussing right now?" It proves you make bad decisions. Which decision I'm making now concerns you? You're avoiding responsibility. I'm not denying the past. I'm asking about the current issue. You haven't changed. Then name the behavior you're seeing now. Everyone knows what you're like. If there's a current concern, say it clearly. You're getting defensive. No, I'm keeping this conversation on the issue. So we're just supposed to forget everything? No. But I'm not reopening my entire past every time you dislike my answer. If they name a current concern, address it. If they do not, say, then let's stay with the current decision. At work, Move any real concern into facts, records, and current performance. That is the shift. You are not demanding that they forget. You are refusing to let one old chapter replace the current conversation. If they continue repeating the same accusation, close it, say, "If there's no current issue, I'm not discussing my past again." Then follow through, return to the agenda, end the call, leave the room, or move the concern into writing if it involves work. A closing line without action becomes another sentence they can debate. One distinction matters. Sometimes the past is relevant. If the same behavior is happening again, do not use these lines to avoid accountability. Ask for the current behavior, listen to the answer, then address what is happening now. But accountability is not the same as living under a permanent sentence. Growth does not require every person to update their opinion of you. Some people will keep speaking to an old version because that version is easier for them to control. You do not have to fight for recognitions. Return to the present, ask for the current issue, and refuse to live on trial for a person you no longer are. Subscribe to the Unbothered Edge for calm words, emotional control, and verbal self-defense.